In the next 3 years, nearly half of the core skills required for your job will change. That's not a prediction, that's a promise from the World Economic Forum. The cause? A single two-letter acronym that's rewriting our future: AI. The question is, are you ready to be rewritten? Welcome back, everyone, to Zalwora, the channel where we decode the future of AI, technology, and the stock markets that power them. We're broadcasting from the heart of the action, covering the trends shaping the Middle East, the UAE, the USA, and India. I'm your host Saleem, and with me, as always, is the man who can read a stock chart like a novel, my co host Alex.
It's great to be back, Saleem. And you've hit the nail on the head. AI isn't just some distant sci-fi concept anymore. It's here. It's on the trading floors of Dubai, in the boardrooms of Silicon Valley, and it's powering the startup boom in Bengaluru. It's a revolution, and every revolution has winners and losers.
Exactly. And today, we are diving headfirst into that revolution. We'll explore how AI is becoming your new co-worker, how it's creating a gold rush for startups, and what it means for your portfolio. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, because we're about to unpack the AI gold rush. Alex, let's start with the most immediate impact: our jobs.
Right, let's get straight to it. Forget the Hollywood fantasy of robots taking over. The reality, for now, is far more interesting. AI is becoming a co-pilot. It's the ultimate assistant, and it's about to give global productivity a shot of adrenaline.
A huge shot. Think about it. In the next 2 to 3 years, we're not just talking about minor improvements. We're talking about a potential 30 to 50% productivity boost in entire sectors like IT, finance, and even creative industries. Let's take coding, my old stomping ground. A developer used to spend hours, maybe days, writing boilerplate code or debugging a tricky function. Now, an AI like Gemini or a specialized tool can spit out that code in seconds. Seconds. This doesn't replace the developer, it elevates them. It frees them up to be architects, to solve the big creative problems.
And that same principle is rocking the financial world. In the US, giants like JP Morgan Chase aren't just experimenting, they're deploying AI at scale. Their algorithms are sifting through millions of data points a minute: news articles, social media sentiment, satellite imagery of oil tankers, you name it, to predict market movements before they happen. A 2025 McKinsey report we saw last month confirmed that AI could slash the time spent on fundamental financial analysis by more than half. That means faster, sharper, and more informed trades.
So the analyst who used to spend a week buried in spreadsheets can now spend that week strategizing.
Precisely. And it's not just a Wall Street game. In India, platforms like Zerodha and Upstocks are integrating AI to analyze sentiment around NSE-listed stocks. They're giving retail investors, everyday people, tools that were once the exclusive domain of hedge funds. It's a democratization of financial intelligence.
But what about our region, here in the Middle East?
This is where it gets really exciting, Saleem. The Dubai Financial Services Authority is already piloting AI systems for real-time fraud detection. We're talking about an AI that can spot suspicious trading patterns across thousands of transactions per second, potentially saving the market billions in the long run. But, and this is a huge but, there's a catch.
There's always a catch.
Always. AI is brilliant at processing data, but it's terrible at understanding context. It has no empathy, no intuition. An AI might see a tweet from a Saudi oil minister and interpret it purely based on keyword sentiment. It might miss the sarcasm, the political undertone, the human element, and trigger $1 billion sell-off based on a misunderstanding. The human co-pilot is there to grab the controls and say, "Whoa, computer, you're missing the bigger picture."
I love that. I actually read a story about a US hedge fund last year. Their AI screamed buy on a basket of tech stocks after a minor dip. All the data pointed to a rebound. But the human trader, the pilot, had heard whispers from his network in Washington about potential new regulations. He overrode the AI. 2 days later, the regulatory news broke, and those stocks fell another 10%. The human touch saved them from a massive loss.
That's the perfect example. It's the hybrid model. In the UAE, we're seeing firms use AI to filter through thousands of potential investments to find ones that are Sharia compliant. But the final decision is always made by a human expert who understands the nuances of Islamic finance. So, productivity is skyrocketing, yes. But if you're a professional who refuses to adapt, who refuses to learn how to pilot this technology, you risk becoming a passenger. And eventually, you might be asked to get off the plane.
Chilling thought. But for those willing to learn, it's not a threat, it's an opportunity. And nowhere is that more true than in the world of startups. Absolutely. For decades, if you wanted to build a world-changing tech company, you had to be in Silicon Valley. That era is over. AI is the ultimate leveler. An entrepreneur with a laptop in India or a co-working space in the UAE can now build solutions for a global market from day one.
And the smart money isn't just funding clones of existing tech. It's not about building another pretty wrapper around ChatGPT. It's about creating deep, domain-specific technology. Take the US, for example. A company like Anthropic, which hit an $18 billion valuation this year, isn't just a generic chatbot. They're focused on building safe, ethical AI that can be trusted with sensitive financial and medical data. Their models can predict stock volatility with a reported 85% accuracy in certain conditions. That's a specific, high-value problem.
And we're seeing that specialization everywhere. Look at India. A startup called Krutrim recently raised $50 million. Their focus? Vernacular AI. They are building models that understand and operate in India's dozens of languages and dialects. A massive market that Silicon Valley has largely ignored. That's not a wrapper, that's building the foundational layer for an entire subcontinent.
Meanwhile, the UAE is playing chess while others are playing checkers. They're using their sovereign wealth to pour money into AI for sustainability. Masdar City in Abu Dhabi has become this incredible hub for startups, using AI to optimize solar grids and develop new green energy trading algorithms on the ADX. I've got a great anecdote here. A small Dubai startup, just 3 founders, used AI to analyze satellite data, social media chatter, and shipping manifests to predict short-term oil price fluctuations during the recent Red Sea tensions. Their model was so accurate, they delivered a 25% return to their initial investors in 6 months. That's the power of niche AI.
That's incredible. And it's not just about finance. Think about Saudi Arabia's NEOM project. The AI being developed for that smart city to manage energy, traffic, and public services could disrupt the entire regional real estate and construction markets. But let's be real, it's not all smooth sailing. There are huge challenges.
Definitely. India has the talent. NASSCOM estimates they'll have over 5 million AI professionals by the end of 2025. But there's a gap in experience with cutting-edge research and global standards. The UAE is brilliantly bridging that gap by using its free zones, like the DIFC, to attract top-tier talent from the US and Europe to mentor and build alongside local teams.
It's about creating that ecosystem. So, hypothetically, an Indian startup could develop a breakthrough AI for optimizing supply chain finance. They have the coding talent. Then, they partner with a logistics giant in the UAE's Jebel Ali port, accessing the infrastructure and global market. That combination could create a company that seriously rivals the big players in the USA. But it requires a long-term vision, not just chasing quick wins. And more than anything, it requires people with the right skills. Which brings us to the elephant in the room: education.
This is the part of the conversation that keeps me up at night, Saleem. Our education system was built for the industrial age. It's designed to create workers who can memorize facts and follow instructions. But in an age where AI can recall any fact instantly, that model is dangerously obsolete.
You've used a term I love before, Alex: intellectual obesity. We are feeding our kids a diet of rote memorization. They're cramming facts for exams, getting intellectually fat, but they lack the muscle of critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity. What's the point of memorizing historical dates when you can ask an AI and get the answer in a millisecond?
Exactly. The new essential skills are things like prompt engineering, knowing how to ask an AI the right questions to get the best results. It's about tool fluency, interdisciplinary knowledge, and most importantly, ethics. In the USA, top universities like MIT and Stanford are already revamping their curricula. Their computer science courses are now blended with philosophy and ethics. You don't just learn to build an AI, you learn to question if you should.
How do India and the Middle East compare on that front?
It's spotty. India's national education policy from 2020 says all the right things about skills and critical thinking, but implementation is painfully slow. A 2025 report I read suggested only about 20% of Indian engineering graduates are truly AI ready. The UAE, on the other hand, is a leader here. The Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence in Abu Dhabi is a game changer. They are specifically training finance professionals on how to use tools like Bloomberg's AI for complex market simulations.
So they're not just learning theory, they're learning to pilot the machine.
Precisely. And in the wider Middle East, you have places like Qatar's Education City, which are making AI ethics a mandatory part of their business and finance programs. I heard a great story about a US student who used AI to build a predictive model for the Indian rupee's fluctuation against the dollar. He didn't just understand the tech, he understood the economics and the politics. He landed a high-paying job on Wall Street before he even graduated. That's the future.
It's about building what I call T-shaped skills. You have broad cross-disciplinary knowledge, the top of the T, in areas like AI, economics, and geopolitics. Then you have a deep, specialized expertise in one area, the vertical bar of the T. That's the person who will thrive. They can zoom out to see the big picture and zoom in to solve the specific problem. And it's this new kind of professional who is already starting to reshape the stock markets. All right, let's talk money. The stock market is supposed to be forward-looking, and right now it's looking at AI and getting jittery and excited, all at the same time.
That's the perfect way to put it. It's volatility on steroids. Look at the US market. A darling stock like Nvidia, which makes the chips that power AI, can dip 5% in a day, not on bad earnings, but on fears that the AI hype bubble is getting too big. At the same time, companies that announce they are leaning their operations, using AI to trim the fat and become more efficient, are seeing their stock prices rewarded.
We're seeing that in India too. The BSE has seen a 15% rise in daily volatility in certain tech sectors, largely attributed to the proliferation of AI-powered trading bots. These bots can react to news in microseconds, creating these lightning-fast price swings.
Yes, but with that volatility comes opportunity. Sophisticated AI trading systems in the US are consistently boosting returns for hedge funds by 20% or more. And again, it's trickling down. In India, Angel One is using AI to facilitate automated microtrades for its retail clients. But my favorite recent example comes from Riyadh. A private wealth management firm there used an AI to analyze regional conflicts, not based on news, but on satellite imagery of military movements and supply chain disruptions. The AI predicted a flight to safety and a surge in gold prices 2 weeks before it happened. Their investors made a fortune.
Wow, but that also sounds dangerous. What are the big risks?
Data bias is the monster under the bed. If an algorithm is primarily trained on Western market data, it might fundamentally misunderstand the dynamics of the UAE dirham or the Indian rupee. It might see a cultural event or a regional holiday as an anomaly and make a catastrophic trading decision. This is why having ethical, transparent, and regionally attuned AI is not just a moral issue, it's a prerequisite for a stable economy. Companies and countries that prepare for this will thrive. Those that don't.
So let's pull it all together. When you look at the global chessboard, how do the key players stack up?
It's a fascinating multipolar world. The USA is still the undisputed heavyweight champion of investment, with companies like OpenAI and Google pushing the boundaries of generative AI. They lead in pure research and capital. Trillions are flowing through Silicon Valley.
India's strength is its people. The raw talent, the sheer numbers, the ambition. They are the world's AI talent factory. But they need to keep investing in top-tier infrastructure and research to move from being service providers to innovators.
And then you have the UAE, the strategic hub. They may not have the population of India or the legacy tech of the US, but they have a crystal-clear government vision with their AI Strategy 2031. They are using their capital not just to buy AI, but to build an entire ecosystem around it, focusing on ethics, governance, and attracting the best minds. Dubai's AI Ethics Lab is a world first, ensuring algorithms used in finance are fair and transparent.
And the wider Middle East, led by Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, is the ambitious newcomer. They see AI as the key to diversifying away from oil, powering everything from finance to tourism to smart cities like NEOM. The potential for growth there is astronomical.
The real magic happens at the intersections. Imagine this. India's talent partners with the UAE's capital and infrastructure, to build AI for global supply chains. That synergy could create a new tech corridor that rivals the US. The pieces are all on the board.
Okay, Alex, we've covered a lot of ground. Let's bring it home. For everyone listening, the student, the professional, the investor, what's the single most important piece of advice you can give them?
It's two things, and they're connected: adaptability and community. First, adapt. You must become a lifelong learner. Don't just read about AI, use it. Sign up for ChatGPT, use Midjourney, play with a coding copilot. You don't need to become a data scientist, but you need to develop fluency. In the markets, this means using AI-powered tools for leverage, but always maintaining human oversight to check for biases.
And community.
And community. Your comfort zone is a trap. Break out of it. Join online forums, attend webinars, go to local tech meetups. The most valuable insights I get don't come from reports. They come from conversations with people who are smarter than me in different fields. In this new world, your network isn't just important, it's your single greatest asset. Dream big, stay curious, and connect with people who are building the future.
Adaptability and community. Powerful advice. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to Zalwora. We want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell us, what is one specific skill you are learning right now to prepare for the AI revolution?
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. We appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for joining us.